Welcome to Keep It Up with Betsy, where you're reminded that marriage is an everlasting work in progress and you cannot get lazy. Here we're going to talk about all sorts of topics that are going to help better your relationship. And today's is titled Social Life Ain't Over. Let's talk about John for a little bit. John was a really popular guy in college. He had so many friends that he could go out with one of them, a different one, every day of the year and not repeat. He had all sorts of events every day of the week. He was into sports, he played sports, he watched sports. He just had an amazing social life, extremely busy social life. Then he met Cindy, the love of his life, and he married her. At that point, his friends were seeing him less often. Then he had little Johnny and Jessica, and by then, his friends were lucky if they got to see him in his wife's Facebook page. So life changes when you get married, especially your social life. Sometimes your wife or your husband doesn't click with your best friend's spouse, or your needs change. You're in a different life phase. Maybe your friends are still single and you're married, or maybe you have kids and they don't, or who knows, things change when you're in a relationship. Or maybe you have more responsibilities because now you bought a house and you have to pay for all these things, so you have to work even more. And you're tired, you don't want to go out, you don't want to do all these things. So marriage definitely changes your priorities. You want to spend more time with your family, with your kids. And time to make social life isn't as vast as it was when John was in college. So what are we going to do about that? Because I've heard, and research says, that it is extremely important to have couple friendships if you are a couple yourself. And why are these couple friends important? Maybe you don't even have time for the friends you already have, much less to create new couple friendships. Or maybe your husband or your wife is your best friend in the world and that satisfies your social needs. Well, it's been proven that having other couples to share your life with, to have friendships with, is very beneficial for your marriage. Now, here are some of the many benefits that I have found in my practice and personal life and research. The first one is misery loves company. So when you're married and maybe you have kids, meeting people that are on the same boat as you can be very beneficial. It kind of gives your life a sense of normalcy, like I'm not crazy, it's normal to feel or think this way. It's good to see other people that are going through the same experiences as you, so that you feel that it's normal, that it's okay, that you're not the only one in this world. And you could even get so much information as to how to handle those things that you're going through that other people are going through as well. Or maybe just knowing that you're not alone helps you feel more at ease with whatever you're experiencing in your life at this point. The second benefit is double dating. Now you have these couple friends that you enjoy hanging out with, so you get to go out with them, you have a good time, you go to dinner, you go on date nights, you go on vacation trips for God's sake. So you do all these things, and in the process you're creating memories, you're growing fonder of each other because you're spending time together, and you're getting closer. Now, we all realize that when we spend time with someone we care for, our bond tends to strengthen. And in doing that with another couple, we're also doing it with our spouses. So going out with other marriages and other people that are in the same boat as us is pretty powerful, because we're not just strengthening the relationship with those friends, but we're also strengthening the relationship with each other. In addition, when you have other couples planning events, you don't have to do all the work. So maybe you're too tired to plan anything, or it just didn't occur to you. And another person comes and plans something, and you get to experience that with your spouse as well. So couple friendships and double dating with them can totally help you strengthen your marriage, because you're going to be spending more time together, more experiences. You're going to be creating bonds and memories that you otherwise probably wouldn't, because we tend to get comfortable. The third benefit I like to call mirror, mirror on the wall. Couple friends may serve as mirrors in so many ways. Witnessing how other husbands and wives treat each other, how they interact, how they talk to each other, how they support or not, each other when in a conversation can be very powerful in showing you how you may possibly be acting. You may look at yourself in another person, something that you may not have the ability to do on your own. Let me give you an example. I have this client whose husband has been telling her forever that she is always very diminishing in front of people, that she doesn't get his back, that she's always trying to correct him in a group setting, and he's saying a story and she tells him he's a liar and that's not true, that's not how it happened. So she's always making him look bad, and he feels very disrespected by it. But in her mind, since she's just saying the truth, like, no, that wasn't the color, no, that's not how it happened, oh my God, that's so not true. Since she's just saying the truth according to her reality, she doesn't think she's disrespecting him. She doesn't realize that he's feeling disrespected. She thinks he's just being oversensitive. So they went out on a double date, and after having heard that multiple times, she noticed that the wife of her friend was doing the same thing. She would call him a liar when he was saying a story. She would be like, yeah, right, you wish that would have been how it happened. She was taken away from the story that he was trying to say in the group setting. And she was really diminishing him. And my client felt very uncomfortable because she appreciates them both. And she didn't like how she was treating the husband. And then she realized that that's exactly what the husband meant or has been meaning for all this time. So looking at another person do the things that you do, that's called projection, is very powerful, because sometimes you cannot see it in yourself, but when you see it in someone else, it's magnified, it's big, it's huge, it makes you feel uncomfortable. So then you get to experience the same feelings that the other person that's been interacting with you, your husband or your wife, has been experiencing. So having other couples serve as your mirror can really transform your relationship, because you'll be able to see things that you otherwise wouldn't. And there's another way of experiencing that mirror, and that's when you're in similar phases, or maybe the couple that you're hanging out with has older kids and they know about things that you're yet to learn about. You could mirror how to discipline your kids, how to take care of your aging parents, how to deal with in-law issues. Maybe they have financial situations and you see how they manage them, and you can learn how to manage them too. So having a mirror to look at, seeing how other people do things that are similar to yours or how they cope with them, could be very empowering to you. It could really teach you some alternative ways that you wouldn't have thought about on your own. So couples can serve as mirrors, and they can be a great example. And that leads us to our next benefit, which is modeling. Modeling and mentoring comprise our fourth benefit. So now you have a couple that you admire, and they offer a window into how loving couples interact with each other. You have these people right here, and you get to observe them and see what it is that makes them special, that makes them admirable by you. Does he include her in the conversations when it's the four of you? Does she laugh at his jokes? Does she support him when he's trying to make a story? Does he open the door for her? Do they kiss, hug, hold hands? What is it that's beautiful about this couple? What would you like to have more of that they have? How can you imitate them? So couple friendships can serve as role models to you. You could see things that maybe you need to improve on, that you hadn't even thought about, or that you hadn't realized how not good you are at it. So having this model, this person, these people to imitate is gonna help you become a better wife, a better husband, and have a much better marriage. And that comes with mentorship as well, because these people are mentoring. They're mentoring you with their role modeling. They're mentoring you with their behaviors by showing you how things can be done in a better way. But they can also offer that mentorship with positive advice. I have a story of a client that was about to get a divorce, and she called her best friend, and she was like, who happened to be the wife of, a couple friendship. So she calls her friend, and her friend comes over, and she has her luggage. She's ready to leave the house. She can't stand it anymore. and her friend tells her, get your in there and fight for your marriage. And she put all of her luggage in her bedroom and did not let her leave. That is a friend. That is a mentor. That is someone that's there for you in the good times and in the bad times, and that cares for your marriage. So finding these couple friendships are not just going to help you learn how to be a better version of you and how to become a better spouse, but it's also going to help you in the difficult times when you need someone to tell you what you need to listen, not what you want to hear. It's amazing. It's super powerful. So work on your relationships and get these role models as friends, because you want to make sure you don't get too many of those that you don't want to imitate at all. The whole purpose of making an intentional effort to have couple friendships is to choose them wisely. And you know you made a great choice in picking your friends when those couples are also your support system. And that is our fifth benefit. We pick couples that are going to be a role model, that are going to be great mentors to us, that we're going to love to hang out with, but they're also going to be part of our support system. They're going to be there whenever we need them. These are the people that believe in you, believe in your marriage, love you, love your spouse, and because they're invested in spending time with you and your partner, they care about you being in a good place. These are the people you call whenever you need a little help in toning down the anger or just cooling down because you're so upset at your spouse. These are the people that give you advice that is going to help you have a better relationship. These are not the people that put more fire into the relationship or into the struggle. But if you insist on having those kinds of couples in your social network, then this benefit is for you. The gift of giving. So having a couples network is not just about what they can do for you and your marriage, but also about what you can do for them. We're called to serve our neighbor, to do for others. And there's no greater pleasure than that of giving, of doing for others, of helping. And having couples friendships allows us to do that. We can be the mentor, we can be the role model, we can be that person that supports them when they're going through tough times. We can be it for another couple friendship. We can be the ones that save them from getting a divorce. We can do so much, and we are not to be blinded about that responsibility. We need to remember that in every relationship there's the gift of receiving and there's the gift of giving, which is way more powerful. So having these couples as friends allows the opportunity to do for others, maybe to even be the face of God for some of these. If you had the possibility of making someone feel cared for or understood or validated or loved, if you had the possibility of saving a marriage, wouldn't you? So now we know why having couple friendships is important, but how do we find couple friends? How do we make these relationships happen? First of all, we're going to reflect on whether or not we have any friends that are couples that are in our lives already. So think about them, think about each of them. Are they a good influence? Do they make you a better person? Do they influence your marriage in a positive way? Or do they take away from you? Do they drain the life out of you? Are they always like a negative vibe and energy when they're around? You need to reflect on this, because if the answer is the latter, if these are people that are influencing you but in a negative manner, then maybe you need to keep them at an arm's distance and be there for them, but not let them influence you and your marriage as much. Now, if you don't have any couple friendships at all, these are some things that you could do to get started. Number one, we're going to reorganize our time. Time is a commodity. They don't make more of that. It's a precious one. So if this is a priority, if you're in a time in your life and in your marriage where this is important, then you need to reserve some time for it. You need to reorganize all your responsibilities so that you can have the time to spend with other couples, to get to know them, to hang out, to be there for them, and to have them be there with you. So reorganize your time and make some for these relationships. Number 2, you want to work out your relationship to become more attractive. So when you work out, you are stronger and you're skinnier, you look good, you're prettier, you're more attractive to others. Others are more attracted to you. We want to do the same thing as a couple. If we're one of those couples that are always bickering and arguing, and we always have this angry face when we're in public, and we can't stand each other, people are not going to want to be around us. People are not going to be attracted to us. And we want to make sure that we attract great couples to hang out with. We want good role models. Then we need to do the same. We need to be the same for those other people. Then we need to work on being a better couple, on becoming a better version of ourselves. And this is a great excuse to get started. You attract people that are similar to you. Good people attract good people. Awesome relationships, awesome couples attract awesome marriages. And that's what we want to do. And you'll find yourself not even having to look for other friendships because you'll be attracting them yourselves. Let me give you an example. One of my best friends ever lives thousands of miles away. I met her in the last work trip that I had to go with my husband to. We had been on the same trip for 3 consecutive years, but we had never met. She says she had seen me interact with my husband during the previous 2 trips, but I had never seen her. So the last trip, she goes up to me during the last night and tells me, listen, I had to come to you because I've been seeing you during the last 3 years, and I think you're an awesome person. I love how you and your husband get along. I don't know, you have this energy to yourselves that I just had to come and tell you that, I think you guys are wonderful. And we hit it off. We started talking. We were like pen pals because we've been communicating over email and phone, since then. But we're really, really, really good friends, amazing friends. And it all started because she was attracted to the way my husband and I interacted with each other. So just working out your relationship and becoming more attractive could already help you get those couple friendships that you're looking for. Number 3. Go for the low-hanging fruits. So you don't have to start from scratch, a brand new friendship, and go look for a couple that's ideal and that can serve as a mentor and a model and all these things that we've spoken about. You can just think of the relationships that you already have and are within your reach. So for example, let's consider your individual friends. Why don't you go out with your individual friend and his or her spouse, and you see if your spouses click? Or maybe your kids' friends at school. You feel like you connect with some of the parents, then invite them over, go to events that they're going to, and just try to hang out with them to see that you connect even more and your relationships become even stronger and more intimate. Or maybe if you attend like a gym or a church, or you have a hobby, and you have people that you meet in those scenarios, don't keep them in those scenarios. You can always bring them outside of the gym, outside of the church, and go to different places, invite them to other events. You just take the relationship to another level and see once again if those people click with you and your spouse. You can also think of friends. Maybe you went to a party or an event and there was a friend of your friend that hosted the party, and you hit it off and you were talking for a while and it was great and you connected. Then think of those friends, reach out to them, see if it could become something bigger, something stronger. Sky's the limit. You have to think outside of the box when it comes to creating friendships. You can also, when you go out on a date night with your husband, your wife, you can talk to other couples there and maybe meet other people as well. So there's so many ways that you can create relationships or grow relationships that are already within your reach, that you don't have to worry about, oh my God, where am I going to find a friend now? How am I going to make this happen? Just think about the low-hanging fruits, the people, the relationships that are already within your reach. Number 4, make and accept invitations. If you've been a host, you know that having people over and cooking and cleaning and planning and all those things are a great deal of work. But when you want to strengthen a relationship, there's nothing like inviting someone to an event of yours and being able to demonstrate with the thoughtfulness that you put into the planning that you care for them. It's a big deal. So inviting people to your events and being a host and just having the initiative to want to take that relationship to another level is a very powerful sign and something that people can really appreciate. Now there's the other part that could also be a lot of hard work, and that's accepting an invitation. So come Friday night, it's been a tough week at work, you're exhausted, all you want to do is lay in bed and watch TV or do nothing, and they invited you somewhere. And you have to make the decision of either going or staying home and relaxing, and just watching TV and maybe having a little glass of wine. It's going to be tempting to stay comfortable and stay home. But it is important that you make an effort and you go out and you accept other people's invitation. Because guess what? They're going to invite you once or twice, maybe 3 times, but at some point they're going to stop inviting you if you never attend. So you have to make an effort. You have to get out of your comfort zone and accept invitations. And actually, if you think back, every strong relationship, every beautiful relationship you have in your life started with an invitation that was accepted, even your spouse. So accept invitations and take the initiative to invite others to your events and to things that you plan for them. Last but not least, diversify. So you may have the ideal couple friendship in your mind, and they have kids that are a certain age, and they share your same interests, and they're in the same phase of life that you're in, and it's just perfect. Well, sometimes, while we shouldn't budget with the core values, the things that we really value a lot, and the things that are a non-negotiable in the couple friends that we're gonna have, we should be a little more flexible in the other things, the other areas, because being too picky and not being able to consider certain couples because they don't have kids, for example, may cause you to overlook some pretty awesome people. Let me tell you about our friends Cindy and Joey. I think they're the coolest friends we have. They have no kids, they've never been married. In fact, they've been living together for as long as my husband and I have been married, which is a long time. And they live the life. They live the life. And I love to be with them. I feel like I'm 15 again. My husband does too. So when we go over to their house, we have an amazing dinner because she's an awesome cook. And then we get to play Nintendo and, I don't know, hang out. It's amazing. No kids running around, nobody screaming. It's unbelievable. It's really awesome. Maybe if we wouldn't have known them from before, we wouldn't have picked them as our couple friends. But you know what? They're amazing to us, and they're a great example, even though they don't share the same interests or phase life. So don't limit yourself to the people that you have in your mind. Don't close yourself to meeting awesome people. Do make sure that you don't budget and you don't negotiate the core values, the things that your couple friends should have. But don't be picky on the other areas. You'd be pleasantly surprised. Let me finish by telling you about Anna, who inspired this topic. Anna and her husband were my clients in private practice, and I invited them to go to my date nights with Betsy. If you haven't heard of my date nights with Betsy, you need to learn more about it on my website, betterwithbetsy.com. But for now, all you need to know is that it's a 1-month couples workshop in a date night environment. So it has that fun, social feel to it, but then it also implies that you're going to be sharing your vulnerabilities in front of other couples. Not everybody's comfortable with that. Anna certainly wasn't. So she wasn't excited about the idea. She did not want to go, but I didn't take no for an answer. So she had no choice but to show up to my date nights. And 4 weeks later, Anna was sharing with me how those complete strangers became like family to her. She now goes on date nights with these couples that she met in the workshop because they shared vulnerabilities, they shared values, they shared these lessons about marriage and relationships, and they had no choice but to become fond and closer with each other in just 4 weeks. Their family, that's how she described them. So it is important that we share certain values with the couples that we choose. And if you have to pick one value, let it be the one that Anna had in common with these other couples. They shared the value of marriage. They believed and treasured that relationship. They believed in the everlasting process that marriage is and in the forever aspect of it. They all wanted to better their relationships. They all wanted to be a better husband or wife. You want to pick and choose people that share that value with you. If you do that, you cannot go wrong. So let me shut up and let you go because you need to get started on creating friendships with couples. Have fun and keep it up!